Severe.
Call Keith Locke. Thank you, Mr. Chair. It's a pleasure to be able to speak on the title and the commencement date. I think actually the commencement date should be changed. Instead of it being April the 1st, 2011, it should probably be April the 1st, 1911. I don't know whether you can do reverse dates like that, but it is appropriate to that period in our history when our industrial legislation, employment legislation was very weak and where employees were at a serious disadvantage. And I think this bill would sort of fit more in that time period. In terms of the title, rather than the Employment Relations Amendment Bill number 2, it might be good to have it as the Employee Submission Amendment Bill, because this is what the bill is about, the submission of employees in the workplace, particularly to their employer. And then the other thing, the Principal Act amended, I think rather than amending the Employment Relations Act 2000, might be best to amend the Corrections Act, because this is in some ways imprisoning, or at least taking away the freedoms of workers in the workplace. And it is, it's relevant to the Corrections Act, and under the Corrections Act now I think there's an allowance for home detention. Well, this isn't actually home detention, it's sort of work detention, but it relates perhaps more to that act than the Employee Relations Act, which, as has been pointed out, was passed in the year 2000 to improve the relations between employers and employees and have a fairer relationship and fair bargaining between the two. The Green Party was supportive both of Trevor Mallard's amendments to Part 1 and then the revised versions in Part 3 and 4, the prospective Parts 3 and 4, and I think if the government was serious, they would have accepted amendments that allowed for urgent matters to the union to be given access as normal without all this hold-up where urgent matters were concerned. And certainly health and safety is an urgent matter. Harassment, sexual harassment is an urgent matter. If someone's dismissed, you can't wait for a few days to come in and defend them and then work out whether they should be on the job or not, and redundancy payments and all the rest of it. They are urgent matters that require the urgent attention of union officials, and I think it's a pity that those amendments to Part 1 were not passed. Also in the prospective amendments, the secret ballot issue too. There's a funny contradiction in the legislation before the House at the present time. And on the one hand, there's this requirement, and the Green Party has opposed it, it's a requirement in Tohanari's bill to provide a secret ballot before any action is taken by the unions. But this particular bill, a different bill, the Employment Relations Amendment Bill number 2, says, well, hold on, the unions can't even get access to hold their secret ballot, or the employer can sort of stop them, put barriers in their way. That doesn't seem, the two are in contradiction. And the other amendment that was put forward met with the approval of the Green Party too, that is that the primary remedy of reinstatement should particularly apply to those who are involved in union bargaining, health and safety issues, etc. Because otherwise there can be, they just kept the union representative on the job down the road, and that has happened many times in New Zealand's employment history. And I think I think there was an opposition to that interpretation by the national government side. If the national government thinks, well, there isn't going to be a picking off of union officials, etc., by disallowing the primary remedy, reinstatement as a primary remedy, then they should have supported this amendment. I think the other points that have been raised in the debate have been very relevant too, particularly the one relating to benefits, where there is no, if someone is dismissed under the 90-day provision,